I think that we should always be real. I think realness is lacking sometimes on social media because we want to portray that perfect life, but it makes people feel bad about themselves. It makes them feel like, why aren't they living the lives that other people are living? So I really encourage everyone on social media to share their realness in their real life and to be humble and to not be flashy, because sometimes people on social media try to share this life that's a fake life. And for me, I always strive to be humble.
Welcome to Sponsored Post Podcast, behind the lens of how influential content is made. I am Justin Moore. I'm the founder and CEO of Trending Family, which is an influencer marketing agency that launches campaigns with family-friendly influencers. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by April Moore, who is a creator with over 1.5 million followers across all her social media platforms. She makes motherhood, lifestyle, food and baking, cleaning, and family content, and has built an impressive career online spanning over 10 years. She also happens to be my wife. Welcome, April.
Hi, honey. Hi, everyone.
So I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. And I thought we could just start off. And why don't you tell me about your background and your story and kind of why you started your first YouTube channel?
Okay, sure. I started YouTube back in, I think, 2009. And I should have started earlier because I really enjoyed watching people make haul videos and just seeing like a community of women that kind of looked similar to me and had similar interests. Like Michelle Phan, I learned how to do my makeup watching her, and I didn't see a lot of like people who were, like in traditional TV and things like that, you don't see a bunch of Asian people. But then when I went to YouTube, I was like, oh my goodness, we have friends here. We have friends that look like us, friends that can teach me how to do my makeup. So I started YouTube out of hobby. I was a preschool teacher right out of college. And the reason why I say I should have started earlier was the thing that prevented me from really starting was feeling shy, feeling like I didn't look the part, like all those insecurities. I just wish that I just started when I wanted to start just because. And also, thanks to you, Justin helped me learn how to edit because I am just not a tech savvy person. To this day, I still am not. And Justin helps me out with all of that.
You're much better now. I mean, we started on Windows Movie Maker, I think it was?
Yes, we did. And we started with the laptop camera too.
Yeah, the webcam. We did use a webcam. It was like super pixelated. And man, those effects, though, on some of your early videos were off the chain, though.
I mean, they were fire.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you mentioned about like that you didn't really see a lot of people like yourself represented in traditional media. And I think that that's was one of the most interesting things about the rise of YouTube and social media in general is that there was no longer a barrier of entry to create content, right? Like anyone could do it. And you saw these kind of niche communities start forming up. And you mentioned like you didn't have really a lot of friends who, talked about makeup, and you found this community online that you were really passionate about. And so like, talk a little bit more about those early days and those early videos, right? Because social media back then, it's not like it is now. Like people were not really like making money like full time or like making a career as a content creator back then. I mean, in the beginning, it was more just about like getting free products, right?
Back then, I did it out of hobby. And I think the reason why I've stayed on social media for so long is because I really enjoy it and I still see it as a hobby, but now it's also my career. So back then in 2009, what I did was I would go to work, Monday through Friday, I was a server and a preschool teacher. And then on the weekends, I would tell you like, oh, today I want to film this video and just share my different interests. And to this day, I still do it kind of like that, except it's full time now. I work around the kids' schedule, right in between their school hours and things like that.
Are there things about how social media was back then that you miss, or do you prefer how things have evolved now?
I think I like a mix of both. Back then, I felt like because we all did it for no money and we didn't even anticipate any of us making money. Like, I consider myself kind of OG. There's like the OG who started like right at 2006, 2008, but I was at 2009. I still consider myself OG. Anyone who did not get paid for years, who did not participate in the YouTube, what's it called when you monetize on
Oh, the partner program.
the partner program, yes. Those are OGs, and we did it because we just wanted to share. And I feel like when you start to monetize, things change, or other people who didn't even care to make YouTube videos start making YouTube videos just because they think, oh, it's going to be easy money. But then people will try and they will see that it takes so much time and effort to actually make it a living. Like, you actually have to work. And the fact that I have 3 channels, my Cook with April, my April Tina 7 channel, and our vlog channel, April Justin TV, like, that's a lot of work. Like, people call one channel a job. So do I have 3? Like, it's a lot of work.
Talk a little bit about the stigma that you mentioned, or just the fear when you were first starting. Because I mean, back in the day, like it still was very much like a very new thing. Like, I mean, even to this day, but especially back then, like you tell people that you make YouTube videos online, it was kind of like, well, YouTube only has cat videos, right? Like it wasn't really a thing that people were doing. And so how did you overcome that fear, or like, how did you talk to people early on about what you were doing?
I think in the beginning when I started YouTube, it was hard for me to share what I did for a living when it became my full-time job, because not a lot of people understood the idea that I was actually working. They thought that I was just hanging out at home, playing with makeup, and just living my best life as a stay-at-home wife. But I did enjoy my life at home, but I was also contributing to the family, with an income through YouTube. It was just very hard. A lot of friends, family members, bless their heart, they just were confused. They didn't understand it. So it was hard to push through. It was hard to continue doing what I wanted to do because of the opinions. But I'm the type of person, if I love something so much, I'm not going to prevent myself from living the dream life that I've always wanted. So I just kept doing it. And look at where we
Mhm.
are now, my love.
I know it's pretty amazing. I mean, that's, that can be said for a lot of things where, you really are an early adopter and you built this career, and, it's very saturated now. It's very hard to kind of dive into this space, and there's thousands, if not tens of thousands of folks trying to make a living doing what you're doing. And so it really is a testament to your work ethic and your ability to have a sustained career over this amount of time, because a lot of people flame out. Like it's very hard to maintain relevance for 5 years, albeit 10 years, right? So I think it's an incredible feat. And so, around the time that you got pregnant with our first son, Liam, the content started to shift, right? Like, we started documenting this really exciting change in our life, the pregnancy journey. We have our birth video for both our kids on YouTube, the PG version, of course, but we started sharing a lot more about our lives than just makeup or than just food or things like that. And so what do you think has been the most rewarding thing about sharing so many aspects of your life online?
Yeah, so sharing my life with you, of course. And I do want to mention something before we move on to this topic, but I want to mention that the reason why I was able to push through and continue to live that dream life and just pursue YouTube is because of you. Like, you encouraged me and you were always so motivating. Oh, dude, why am I crying?
Oh, that's so sweet, honey.
You motivated me. Like, when you have someone that loves you this much, I feel like anything is possible. So I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for all your love and support. And I feel the same way for you and Trending Family.
That's so sweet, honey. I really, gosh, I'm tearing up over here too.
If you want to meet me up here, just
I
kidding.
know. We are in separate rooms right now so that we could have 2 separate audio channels. So we are. Otherwise, I would put my arm around you right now. But that's really sweet of you, honey.
Yeah, so, when our life changed and we decided to have Liam, which was, I remember, we were in Costa Rica and you were not even done with your MBA program. I remember you wanted to wait, but you were like, you know what? Like, life is life. Let's just try and have a baby. Because, honestly, we didn't know how long it was going to take, but then it took like 7 days. TMI, 7 days.
Yeah.
Just to tell
Yeah.
everyone. So embarrassing. He's like, we made Liam in Costa Rica. So, honey, we got to take Liam to Costa Rica.
I know. I did not expect this podcast to take this turn, I must say, but it's
But
okay.
I am
That's
your
the
wife,
spice of
and
it.
this is
I know
why.
that is. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean you're right. I mean, like for me, I think, one of the biggest exciting things about cataloging our life has been being able to pull up these moments and experiences in our life at our fingertips. Right. Because if you just type in like, oh, the Hawaii trip, or type in, Liam's first steps or something, right? Like we have it instantly. And with a normal, if you're taking videos on your phone, or for normal, video camera or something, like you're not going to spend time like curating all of that, right? Editing the best clips together. Like if you're not doing YouTube, right? We've been able to, capture all of these amazing moments for basically our kids' entire lives, and I think that's going to be such an incredible, incredible thing for us to have and for our kids to have as they grow up. And like, so for me, that's like one of the most special pieces about it.
For me too, and the fact that my mom lives in Southern California and your mom and Saba, Steve, live in Minnesota, like we don't get to see them regularly because they live so far away from us, but all we have to do is send that YouTube video and they feel like they spent the day with us and they know
Yeah.
every detail of that day.
No, exactly. Exactly. It's so cool. And so what do you think has been some of the tougher things about sharing our life online?
Oh, this is gonna get real deep. I think if you create something on social media like a YouTube channel, you have to really have thick skin. Like, I didn't have the best childhood, to be honest. So, if you don't have a childhood that makes you a strong, stable person, you get really sensitive right away when someone insults your living, insults every part of you. And I think that's something that I need to share with everyone. If you're starting social media, you have to be strong. And unfortunately for me, like, I went through like these sad moments. Do you remember, honey? Like,
Oh, of
feeling
course.
like I wasn't good enough, feeling like I was lacking. But I realized that it wasn't me. Whatever I did, it wasn't about me. Whoever left that comment about me and just wanted to tear me up and rip up every part of me, it had everything to do with them and how they were feeling and what their life is like. Because I know this because I get a lot of emails from past haters, and they email me, they DM me, and they tell me, I used to hate you. You used to be so perfect. But now I love you because you were always real all along. And I was going through this and that. And I had problems, this and that. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad that we're friends now.
Right.
Yeah.
They're converted haters.
Yes, yes, they're welcome to any time. So that's definitely something that I found very challenging. And also, like I mentioned, explaining what I do for a living and then people asking, like, can you make money off of that? And you just have to be very confident in yourself. And I'm just so grateful that I am now, but I wish that I was in my early 20s.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. I mean, because I think this is especially hard when you create content on social media and put yourself out there. But I think this is an affliction, I think, for just a lot of consumers of social media in general, too. Like people who follow people on Instagram, for example, and they look at other people's lives and they just think, wow, like I wish I was traveling there, or I wish I was doing this. I mean, there have been studies that have shown that, like too much social media consumption in different ways can lead to unhappiness, and so I think what you've done all along, what we've done all along in terms of fostering a community of positivity and making sure that everyone feels welcome, and I think we've always been really big about that, in terms of ensuring that no one is bullying other people, or things like that. And all I know is I am glad that we did not grow up in the age of social media, like in high school and stuff, because I think that would be tough, and it makes me think of like what our kids are going to go through. I mean, that's a ways away, but it can definitely be tough.
I think everyone on social media, even if they're not influencers, but has, even 2 followers or one, we need to be aware of the content that we share. The internet is forever. Whatever you share is going to be seen. They will pull it up. So just be aware of that too. And also, I think that we should always be real. I think realness is lacking sometimes on social media because we want to portray that perfect life. But it makes, like you said, honey, it makes people feel bad about themselves. It makes them feel like, why aren't they living the lives that other people are living? So, you know me, I'm really aware of that. So I try not to be a show off because I'm not. I just try to be like a real person. I talk about my cats peeing on the floors, our cats. I talk about Jacob peeing on his bed every now and then because he's potty trained, but sometimes he's a deep sleeper.
Right.
So I really encourage everyone on social media to share their realness and their real life and to be humble and to not be flashy because sometimes people on social media try to like share this life that's a fake life. And for me, I always strive to be humble. There's this Tagalog word called mayabang, and that's exactly the opposite of who I want to be. Mayabang means like flashy and, all of that.
Interesting. So I want to ask you about your favorite platforms, right? So, I mean, you've been creating content online, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. I mean, you've been creating content for a long time. So what is your favorite platform to create content on these days and why?
My favorite is YouTube, and I think that it always will be because it started everything. And honestly, I think for me, YouTube is my go to platform because if I were to write something down, I don't think my voice and my personality will really show through. Every time I post something on Instagram, people will be like, "Girl, I can hear you saying it." And I'm like, "Yes, you need to hear it exactly the way I say it," because I always have this like sing song voice and I have a certain tone in my voice. And so YouTube is the only thing that can show that,
Hmm.
or maybe if I did more podcasts with you can hear my voice. But I do love Instagram too. Instagram is my second favorite because I can just go on stories and share my life that very second. Like right before we did this podcast, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm doing my first podcast with Justin. So yeah, it's definitely YouTube and Instagram, but my favorite social media to consume myself is Pinterest. I love getting ideas all over Pinterest, but I never really share content on Pinterest for some reason. I just like looking and reading articles on parenting and food.
Why do you think that you don't create much content on Pinterest, but it's like your favorite to consume?
Honestly, I think it's because it's just one more thing I need to do, like with 3 channels. And then Instagram, I consider Instagram a full time job as well. With 3 channels, Instagram, my new workout routine, you know, mom life, cleaning. I stay on that laundry, honey. I
I
stay
know.
on
You
it.
sure do.
Yes, mopping, all just life itself. I can't spread myself too thin. So I just can't
Interesting.
unless I hire, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. So many creators have. I mean, that's been an amazing thing about watching so many creators and their careers explode over the last 10 years is just the teams people have built and the amazing, brands and product lines and things that people have built. It's been amazing to see what has come from YouTube in particular, because, so many of the people that we know got their starts from YouTube. So I want to shift gears a little bit to talk about working with brands, because that's something that has been a constant throughout your whole career, is that you have worked with so many different brands over the years. I mean, hundreds by now. And, and a lot of brands have become repeat clients. You've worked with them over and over and over throughout the years. And so, like, why do you think that brands initially didn't want to work with family creators? I mean, that was one thing that was very interesting, is initially people were only primarily interested in mainly your April Athena 7 channel, the beauty, lifestyle, cosmetics type channel. And, the family vlog channel wasn't really something that brands wanted to partner with. So why do you think that was?
I think that brands wanted to only work with channels that looked polished, like had a very specific look to it. And they thought that a vlog wasn't maybe professional enough. But they were totally missing out. I mean, they missed out for so many years because of that. But I think what changed is that they realized that the same person who might be doing a beauty channel is also that mom on that vlog channel. And she can share just so much more than just makeup, beauty products, hair products. We can share everything on a family vlog channel, from shoes to children's food to clothes to travel. Like we can do it all. So a family vlog channel to me is it. That's where the brand should be working with, because we can share everything because it's a part of our daily life.
Yeah. And so a lot of your partnerships have been repeat clients, whether it's brands or agencies. I mean, why do you think that is? I mean, do you think that there's a particular set of reasons that they keep coming back to you?
I think brands enjoy working with me because I'm real and I'm very honest. And of course, I will only work with them if I actually like their products. So it really shines through on whether or not I love something. And when I love something, I talk about it with such enthusiasm that I can sell a Q-tip. I promise you that. Like, it's like, girl, what brand Q-tip is that is really feeling good in your ear? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know what it is, but I have always loved products, and it's not that I'm trying to sell, it's just that I do it so effortlessly, so seamlessly, and without sounding like I'm selling. It's just part of daily life. And I think they like that. But honestly, we are really good with quick turnaround times, like you are, honey. You are very professional. If you guys didn't know, Justin is my manager. He does all the emails, all the contracts. He reads everything for me. And we just make an amazing team. You are on it, honey. You read every little bit of that contract and you make sure everything is done way ahead of time. And we talk about it in the week, like, oh, this week we got to do this, that, and that. And I always like to turn it in like days ahead of time if possible. And I think that's why they love working with us.
Yeah, it's a big factor. I mean, just it can be very challenging sometimes when you're working with like multiple influencers across a campaign in terms of everyone turning in things at different times and, the quality of the content not being super high or not like following the creative brief, like there were certain key messages or the call to action that you like was mandatory for you to hit and they just don't and like other people just don't hit it. But like I think one thing we really ensure is that we're always hitting those things and satisfying whatever it is that we agreed to do for the brand. And one other thing about your ability to sell things, and we've talked about this before briefly, but you mentioned that you heard a story or an article one time about stories, right? And how you always make a point to talk about a product in such a way that you make it relevant to your life, right?
Yes, absolutely. So one of my favorite YouTubers, her name is Coffee Break with Danny. Oh my God, I'm so in love with her. She is bomb. Anyways, she always shares her favorite things and just daily life, and everything that she talks about, I want to buy. But I think the reason why is because she does it so authentically, and also because she shares a story behind it. Like recently, she bought these compression tanks. I bought it on Amazon like 2 seconds after she mentioned it, of course. And she just explained why she liked it and why it felt good. And then when I bought it, oh my gosh, it was making me look snatched. So I'm just saving it for her. But she shares stories. And I think when you share a story, it's not just, I like it, I love it, it works. No, you have to explain why and why you love it so much in your daily life.
Were you subtweeting anyone there with that, like, I like it, I love it
No, I was just
impression?
being
No?
generic.
Oh, okay.
Don't at me.
I mean, do you also think that it helps that we're a little bit older, in terms of our professionalism and, we have a family to support? I mean, you mentioned you still kind of consider it a hobby, but we take it seriously.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I am a woman, 34 years young. And yeah, it is my livelihood. It is what I do to support the family. And so I am very responsible about it. It's no longer just a hobby. I have to make sure that everyone is taken care of, you know?
Right. What types of things do you wish you could change about how you work with brands? Is there ways in which the process could be improved?
Absolutely. I feel like when I turn in a project, I would like some feedback quicker, because sometimes the due date to post is like it's going to come up, but sometimes, we have those edits and I only get like a day or two to edit, and I don't feel like it's fair to require like a day or two of editing before the due date when I sent it in like a week ago. So those are just some things that I wish brands could just be a little bit quicker on, but I understand that they have so many other influencers are working with, so many other projects they have to look through. But if I turned it in a week ago, I would really love feedback within a few days, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. What are your favorite types of partnerships or products to work on?
Oh, you know I love them all. I have a weak spot for food because it's part of our daily life, food, and I just love to eat. Traveling, it makes my heart so happy. So when we have an opportunity to travel and it's work related, I just lose my mind. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And just any product that I really love, like home things. I love cleaning. I love commercials. So I love like working with brands that like do that with me. And I just feel so blessed that I have been able to do that with certain brands.
Yeah. What do you make of the trend of creators launching their own product lines?
I think it's amazing. I love it when creators make their own product lines. And you know me, I'm the person who like buys it all. Recently, Judy from It's Judy's Life, her vlog, she created a robe line called the JMK collection. It is so luxurious, so amazing. I love it so much, and I wish her all the blessings because she even created a makeup bag at Walgreens. It's called the It's Judy Time makeup bag, and I flip and bring it everywhere. We have traveled with that makeup bag for at least 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
I am so impressed by creators that create their own product line because it shows me that they are seeing more than just YouTube. Like, you know, their future is going to be so bright because they're doing more than just YouTube.
Is that something you think you'll ever do?
I mean, I've always thought, you know, we've done that before. I had that apron line called Saturday Sunshine, and my aprons were beautiful.
They
They were
were.
so cute. And it did pretty well. And then we had that store Saturday Sunshine, and we had like those tumblers and all of that. But I felt like it was just a lot to maintain with like the three channels, and then you starting Trending Family, and then us having kids. It was just a lot to juggle. And we were also doing daily vlogs, not Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, but it was daily on top of the other channels and on top of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why, you know, we decided to let it go. But I do want to do something in the future. I've always dreamt about maybe collaborating with a cleaning company, a cleaning brand, and creating different scents and formulas. I told you about the toilet one I
Oh
told you about,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Let's put it out there. I feel like toilet bowl cleaners, they always have like that generic scent. Why can't we have floral scented toilet bowl cleaners or
Yes.
cupcake scented, you know, to mask the odors from the toilet bowl? It don't have to smell like disinfectant. It can smell like tropical paradise.
I can hear the story coming through. It's super authentic. This is why I want to
Yes.
buy this from you already.
Yes. Toilet company come through. Cleaning company, you know you want to work with me.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, there's been so many companies that have sprouted up trying to service kind of this creator economy, whether it's Teespring, for t-shirts or like other startups who, have tried to fill this void where, they understand that creators are super busy and don't have time to manage all the logistics of a merchandise company and things like that. So there probably are some solutions out there that we should explore now, because I mean that was several years ago when we launched this. But I agree. I mean, I think it's super interesting to see creators starting to diversify their brands and creating something outside of the platforms, because we all know that the social platforms can be kind of fickle with the algorithm. It's kind of unpredictable sometimes of how things are going to be.
For sure.
So, honey, what do you think is next for your career?
I'm just going to be living my best life as a wife and a mom of two crazy boys and
Mm-hmm.
3 cats. Maybe a dog, because Liam really wants a dog.
Ooh, we got to talk about that one offline.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I just want to continue doing what I do because I love it so much. It makes me so happy, but there is something that I feel like has been missing. I want to educate more. I get so many emails from different influencers, big and small, all in between. Some have like way more followers than me, and they're like, how do you get brand deals like that? And so I feel like maybe I could do something to help people do that.
You always have been, I've mentioned this to you before, but I am constantly amazed at how you manifest things and bring things into your life. You put something out there, you say, I hope this happens this year. This is my goal. And it just comes. Maybe it's like 24 hours later, like just it's these random occurrences. And I'm always in awe of you seem to be in vibration with the universe or something. It's pretty amazing to me. So I think there is something there about, kind of talking to people about positivity and the power of that.
The power of manifesting. But the first step is really believing in yourself. And like I said, I didn't have that growing up, and I didn't have that even in my early 20s. But having such a loving, stable relationship with you has really made me grow as a person. Every day you are my hype man. You're like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, damn, I am though? Am I? And I hope that you get that from me too, because I
definitely
always
do.
try.
You have always supported me throughout every crazy harebrained scheme I've ever tried to do since graduating, all my crazy entrepreneurial things. Like, you've always been so incredibly supportive of those. And so, I think we're lucky. We're lucky to have such a supportive relationship, and I'm lucky to have you in my life.
Oh, me too. But my main priority before career will always be our family. And I think that we've done a pretty good job with that. Mom guilt does exist sometimes though, but I'll work on that.
I think everyone has that, balancing work and family. And it's especially hard for us, I think, and other YouTubers or other social media influencers whose lives are their work, because the line is very blurry for us. We were always kind of filming our days, and, so it definitely is challenging, but I think you do an amazing job, and I see bright things for you in the future.
Thank you.
So how can people contact you? Can you talk about your channel URLs and that kind of thing?
Of course. My channel is April Athena 7, APRILATHENA 7. That is my mom life cleaning shop with me channel. And then Cook with April is COOKWITHAPRIL, and I like to bake. So you'll see a lot of desserts on that channel. And then our family vlog channel with Justin is April Justin TV, APRILJUSTIN TV. And find me on Instagram. That's where you'll be sliding in my DMs and chatting with me, right? It's April Athena 7, APRILATHENA 7.
Awesome. You've just listened to the Sponsored Post podcast with your host, Justin Moore. You can subscribe to hear more great interviews and episodes via Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information on Trending Family, you can visit trendingfamily.com. See you next time.